So this guy is just an amazing guy. He wanted to get back to San Diego, and he ended up getting on at UCSD, and so he's there now. Just an amazing person. You learn a lot from him, so I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad our paths crossed as well. So.
So about 7 years ago, to the day almost, a young guy from Kenya forgot his sunglasses. And that wouldn't seem to be a very big deal, but because of it, I was forced to I made two decisions. One, which was not so good, one, which was much better. And to understand really what that means, I think you need to have some of the context behind it, but what it'll get us to is these two lessons, which is throughout life, there are many small opportunities to show leadership. Today would be one of them, right? You talk to someone, you say something, whatever it is, and you need to take those because they bring you up a ladder. And then eventually, you get that really big opportunity. And some people have mentioned how sometimes that opportunity grabs you, but I contend that you have to grab that opportunity. And that's what these pair of sunglasses showed me. So now the context. I decided, I need a break. I'm going to go off into the wilderness, do something different. So I ended up in the North Cascade Mountains in Washington, which between 5,000 and 10,000 feet, it's an alpine environment. And so in that environment, there are several skills that will keep you safe and will keep you kind of moving forward. And so developing these skills also gave me that opportunity to take those little steps. So for example, a knot. I knew knots. I've done climbing, I've done sailing, so I said, let me show you. I can kind of help guide things here. I know how to do this sort of knot. And so it was an opportunity to sort of show through knowledge, just through experience, help other people along. There was maybe 15 of us at the time. Another situation came where the instructor said, does anyone know how to put on this harness? Can someone show us how to do this? And as happens so often in class and other places, people, no one wants to volunteer. And this was not something I was an expert in, so this is not a case of having that expertise, but it's more a case of saying, I will do it, I will step out there, I'll be a little vulnerable, I'm willing to make that mistake just to help people keep moving along. And I think what you'll see then is that really no one expects perfection when you're sort of modeling this sort of behavior. I think only two people expect perfection. One is generally you yourself. You look and say, I should be better, I should do this perfect, how could I make that mistake? The other person, of course, is a Romanian gymnastics coach. What do you mean 9.8? Nadia always get 10. But in this case, it was only me, so I said, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. So I kind of keep going up through this progression of little challenges, little leadership opportunities. And then when you're in the alpine environment, imagine you have very steep slopes, you have snow, you have ice. If you slip and fall, you want to be able to stop. So this self-arrest, it's kind of a complicated technique for stopping yourself. And I think in this case, again, I was not an expert, but what I did is I said, we need to get people involved. So maybe some of the theme you've seen here of connecting, networking, I said, let's bring the folks together from this day and let's get this done, let's work on this, let's make our mistakes and learn. Because as you make mistakes, that's oftentimes how you make the most sort of learning. So we'll get to the sunglasses here in a moment. So done with all that, and then the instructors tell us, okay, in 2 days, we're going to summit Mount Baker, it's maybe 11,000 feet or so, and we're going to do it in two groups, in two ways. One way is what you picture as a snowy hike. So doing this for a very long time with a lot of weight on it. Not the most challenging thing in the world technically, but still difficult. And then a much smaller group, people who want to, will take a very technical route up. So picture not quite horizontal, more vertical. Picture ropes, picture ice axes, more difficult. And I had this sort of chance. I think this is where that opportunity first presented itself and said, what are you going to do? And I said, these young guys here, they should do it, this is their big chance. And this guy from Kenya, he came from Kenya, he should really do this. This is a perfect chance for him. And had I done that with the real attitude of, that's the right choice, it would have been one thing. But I was doing it from the attitude of, I don't want to do that. That's scary. I've done my little things. That's enough. So So somehow this opportunity presented itself, and I was like, "Phew, you know, don't have to worry about it. They volunteered. As far as I was concerned, I'm taking the easy route up." So then what happens? The next day, we go off, we do some crevasse rescue, stuff on ice at elevation, and that's the day that Ruben forgets his sunglasses. That might not be a big deal here, but we get through that long, sunny, icy day. The next morning, ready to go, we've got our bags packed, and the instructors say, "Excuse me, Ruben forgot his sunglasses yesterday," and what happens is you basically get a really bad sunburn on your eyes. He can't see. He cannot take the technical route up. We're going to have to really kind of bring him along the easier way. So here's this opportunity again. Who will step up? Who's going to do it now? Who's going to help us lead the way in this technical route? I was like, these guys, they really wanted to do it. I think they should do it. You know, I'm going to step back again. So I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, young guys, volunteer. You were anxious to do it. But nothing. So in this instance, then I finally said, after all the silence, okay, I'll do it. But I did it like this guy here. I didn't say, I will do it. Instead, this opportunity, which I tried to run away from, finally grabbed me and said, you're going, whether you like it or not. So here I am, I repack my bags, going this vertical route. You can imagine there's ropes, it's difficult, it's scary, and I'm feeling bad for myself, like, I didn't want to do this, I just wanted to hike up. These guys, you know, why didn't they step up? This isn't what I want to do. And the day gets harder and harder, so it goes from, you know, a gentle walk to a very vertical to, maybe I'll just speak loudly, where you walk with your ice axe and you put it in the snow so you don't fall. So eventually, not walking like this because like, whoa, that's awfully vertical. So eventually, using kind of a technique like this where you're swinging your ice axe into the ice to keep yourself from falling down. So what this means is, it's really steep, it's really scary. I'm looking down, I see hundreds of feet below me, and I've got these other people attached to me, so I'm like, gosh, you know, here I am at the front of the rope, I don't want to be here. How could I be in this situation? So this is, it just keeps precipitating to the point that this is what I see. I see myself vertical. I look down, I see hundreds of feet. I'm scared. I said, you know, I didn't want to do this. And it was in that moment where I looked down, I actually thought to myself, I said, wow, so this is it. This is how I die. This is the end. And I was like, this opportunity, you know, it got me. But, you know, I had done the right things, the things that you're doing today. I had stepped up. I had shown how to do the knot. I had connected with people. I had made those little efforts. So I didn't drop my bag. I didn't drop my axe. I didn't say, that's it, I'm done, even though I felt that way. But it was that shift where I said, okay, the second choice forced by these sunglasses, which is, I'm going to grab the opportunity now, not the other way around. And that made the difference. I got over that last little bit. It was not pretty. I wouldn't show it to anyone. I was covered in mud and ice. I looked like a beached whale on top of this mountain. But I took my breath and I said, okay guys, I'm bringing you up, let's go. And I think that's really where the sunglasses kind of played that role. And so here we are today, sort of similar in a way, right? Not in the mountains, but you're having the chance maybe today to come up, maybe to see someone you really want to talk to and say, you know, I'm going to break the ice, I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to exhibit some behavior, I'm going to help inspire in some way. Because whether it's in your career, in your school, when you're in Tijuana, when you're in Burma, somewhere soon, at some point, that big opportunity is going to come and someone's going to say, I forgot my sunglasses. And then you're going to say, don't worry, I got it. Thanks.
I encourage anyone that wants to seek out a good advisor. This guy is a very brilliant mind and can listen to you and dissect and help you see things you haven't seen before. So really awesome. So thank you for your friendship, bro. Big time.